the takeaway is quick too. You can almost imagine as if the club head was in some mud, or if I'm stepping on it and I want to pull the club head back with some aggression. So I get it started fast so I can be dynamic as I come through the swing. Hey everyone, in this video we're going to go over how to start your backswing in golf. A lot of lessons I teach, a lot of golf schools, I'll get that question, how do I start my backswing? And we're going to answer that question for you. So smash that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, thank me if this video helped you improve your golf game, contribute to the ongoing success of my YouTube channel, and comment. These things help in more ways than you know. So whether I'm in a one-on-one lesson or I'm in a group setting, whether it be a golf school or a clinic, I often get the question of how do I start my backswing? And I want to address that because there's a few feels that I've had a lot of success with my students to help them get their backswing started or started correctly. And there's also a drill that's been around for quite a while. If you're savvy to golf and golf instruction, you've seen it before, but it has a new little benefit or a new little twist as we continue to study the science of the golf swing, which I'll elaborate on. So let's jump right into it. The first thing that I want to see when it comes to starting your backswing is I don't want to see you starting from a stopped or stagnant position. So golf is a sport, it's an athletic motion, and so just if I was guarding somebody in basketball, I wouldn't be just dead stopped waiting for them to run right by me, most likely. But I would be kind of bouncing around, kind of moving around, shifting around, getting ready for whatever move I had to make once they start driving on me. In golf, we want something similar. So you can see as I set up to hit a shot, you know, my feet are bouncing around. Patrick Cantlay would be a great example of this. If you watch his putting, he's kind of always shifting his feet before he takes the putter back. But waggling the club, shifting my feet, you know, little fanny shake, just something to keep us athletic, keep us moving, so we're not starting from that very stagnant stop position. Now, I've played golf, I've taught golf for a long time, so imagine the golf swings I've seen, studied, people on my lesson tee, playing golf casually with people, professionally with people. I've seen a lot of golf swings, and one person in all those years, all those golf swings I've seen, one person stands out. He was actually a club champion for a long time here at Naples Grand, and he would start from a very stopped position. He would hover over it for a couple seconds and then get going. He, again, all those people I've seen, all those swings over so many years, he's the only person in my mind that I can think of that I saw successfully play from a stop position. So I say that as if you're like, hey, I kind of freeze over it and then I get going, and I'm a pretty darn good player, then hey, that's unique to you and that's something you should continue to do. I wouldn't ask you to change that. But for most people, it's going to be a lot easier to start our swing if we're kind of moving around, kind of bouncing around a little bit. All right. So that's one thing we can do is make sure that to start our backswing, make sure it's fluid. We're starting from a moving position. We're not stopped. We're not stagnant. What's another thing we can do? And one of my favorite feels that I teach a lot of people that struggle to start their backswing, or they want to know how to start their backswing, is the lead shoulder. So for a left-handed player like me, and I'm shooting this way, my lead shoulder is the one closest to the target, so it's my right shoulder. If you're a right-handed golfer, the one closest to the target, we'd be shooting this way now, is going to be your left shoulder, but using your lead shoulder to literally push the club face back and around. So it's a great thought. If I just take this right shoulder and I just push that club face back and around. So here, looking from face on, my thought is this shoulder kind of pushing the club face back and around just gives me a good visual, gives me a good feel to start my backswing. So what I'd like to do is I want to hit a ball with this thought, kind of see what we get, and then we'll get into some other things that we can do. All right. So you'll notice I'm not going to start from a stop position. I'm not going to stand here for a few seconds, then start my golf swing. I tend to create a lot of waggles, kind of moving my feet around. But my only thought here is I'm just going to use that right shoulder to push the club around. And that actually worked quite well. That was a very solid golf shot. So maybe something I should continue to practice. All right, so we know we don't want to start from a stop position, and a good way to start our golf swing using that lead shoulder, right shoulder for a lefty, left shoulder for a lefty, or for a righty, excuse me, is a great way to start the backswing. But you try that a few times and it's like, hey, it doesn't really resonate with me. I want something else. I need something else. And so I teach here in Naples, Florida. Most of the people I teach are retired and in that stage of their life, and a lot of them want to draw the golf ball. And so what I find myself teaching a lot, or I like to teach, is a low inside takeaway. So low would be club head to the ground, and inside would be moving towards me, not away from me. That would be more outside. So one thing that I use, or a great thought that I use with a lot of my students working on getting their backswing right, starting their backswing, and one thing I want to interject here is that for me personally, when I'm playing golf, if I can get a good feel for the start of my backswing, not all the time, but a lot of times that's going to end up in a good shot. And I think that's one of the reasons I waggle quite so often. I know if I can just hit that position, something dynamically good is going to happen out in front of me. So one thing that I'll use, so imagine me here as a left-handed golfer, I'll use the thought of a catcher or catcher's mitt setting up for a low inside fastball. So if I'm a left-handed batter in baseball and somebody's going to set up for a low inside fastball, they're going to be, right about here somewhere. And so I'm going to picture that catcher's mitt as I take the club back and putting this club into that catcher's mitt. Excuse me. Now, based on how you swing the golf club, you might say, hey, I'm a little bit better if my catcher's mitt is straight back. People who hook the ball need to keep the club out in front of them more, might feel their catcher is setting up for an outside fastball, so their catcher's mitt's out here. That you need to take to the range, do some experimenting, do some self-discovery. I'm teaching you the low inside catcher's mitt because the mass of people that come to me, that's the one that's going to help them the most. So let's hit a ball doing this. So I'm thinking of that catcher's mitt. He's setting up for a low inside fastball right here somewhere. And I'm going to work on getting my club head into that catcher's mitt. Notice again, I'm not starting from a stop position. I'm moving around, I'm waggling. And then boom, I put it right into the catcher's mitt. And another good solid golf shot. Okay. So we know we need to be moving around, and also starting with the lead shoulder, pushing that club face back and around might be a great thought for you. The catcher's mitt, depending on who you are, you might move that catcher's mitt around. That might work for you, but you might try those things and it's like, yeah, how about a drill? Like, those things it's a little too abstract for me. Let's find a drill that can really give me a good feeling for starting this backswing the way that I should. And so the drill that I like to use, and as I said earlier in the video, those of you who've been around golf instruction for a while have seen this before, but what I like to do is just put a ball behind the club face. And so what I'm going to do, for me, I want this ball to kind of roll just a little to the inside, but again, it helps me with that low takeaway, and it helps me to get the club into the catcher's mitt. You can see mine kind of rolled off to this angle because I like the inside catcher's mitt. Works for me. You might decide, hey, I need a straight back catcher's mitt. I hit it the most solid and the straightest when my catcher's mitt is right here. So you're going to roll the ball more straight back. Now, there's a dual benefit to this. As we continue to study golf, the golf swing, the science behind the golf swing, what we find, and I'm talking for those of you who want to hit it further, you want to swing faster, people who swing fast, it's not just their forward swing that's fast, the whole swing is dynamic. So you watch a guy like Bryson DeChambeau, the takeaway is quick too. You can almost imagine as if the club head was in some mud, or if I'm stepping on it and I want to pull the club head back with some aggression. So I get it started fast so I can be dynamic as I come through the swing. So we can kind of use this with our drill that I just showed you here, where I'm not only just going to roll this ball back to the inside, but I'm going to put a little mustard on it. I'm going to put a little speed on it to see if I can amp up the speed of my swing, hit it a little further, hit it a little more solid. So let's give this a try. I'm going to set up, so I got my ball that I want to hit. I put the club head down behind it. I put a ball right behind that, and I'm going to work on personally getting the ball just a little to the inside. That helps me with my low inside takeaway and hitting the catcher's mitt. But I'm going to do it with a little bit of speed and see if I can amp up my swing a bit. So notice still moving, not starting from a stagnant position. And I'm just going to roll and through it. And that was probably the most solid of them all. Probably a drill that I should keep working on. So, in summary, don't be stagnant. Don't start from that stop position. Make sure you're bouncing around, moving around, little waggles. Use that lead shoulder to push that club face back and around. Great way to help you get your backswing started. Find out where your catcher's mitt needs to be and think of getting that club head into the catcher's mitt. Great way to start your backswing. And then last but certainly not least, use the 2-ball drill. Put a ball behind the club face and then work on sending it back with a little bit of speed, and it'll make your swing more dynamic. That last one I hit definitely went a little further. So now you know how to start your backswing in golf. I gave you 3 feels that'll help, and then 1 great drill that'll have you starting your backswing properly, hitting you high, straight, majestic golf shots. I have 2 more videos here right now that I promise will continue to help you improve your game. And remember, please like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, thank me, and comment.